सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। श्रुति स्मृति पुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्। प्रज्ञानां सुप्रतानैः स्थिरचरनिकर व्यापिभिर्व्याप्य लोकान् भुक्त्वा भोगान् स्थविष्ठान् पुनरपि धिषणोद्भासितान् कामजन्यान् पीत्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् स्वपिति मधुरभुङ् मायया भोजयन्नः माया संख्यातुरीयं परममृतमजं ब्रह्म यत्तत्नतोऽस्मि। यो विश्वात्मा विधिज विषयान् प्राच्य भोगान् स्थविष्ठान् पश्चाचान्यान् समति विभवान् ज्योतिषा स्वेद सूक्ष्मान् सर्वान् एतान् पुनरपि शनैः स्वात्मनि स्थापयित्वा हित्वा सर्वान् विशेषान् विगतगुणगणः पाप्तोऽसौ न स्तुरीयः पाप्तोऽसौ न स्तुरीयः। Yes, sister.
Om भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैः स्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः। स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति न पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्ठनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु। ओम शांति शांति शांति।
ओम इत्येकाक्षरमिदं सर्वं तस्योपव्याख्यानं भूतं भवत् भविष्यदिति सर्वमोङ्कार एव यच्छानुत्रिकालातीतं तदप्योङ्कार एव सर्वं खेदत् ब्रह्म अयमात्मा ब्रह्म सोऽयमात्मा चतुष्पाद।
जागृतस्थानः बहिष्प्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्गः एकोनविंशतिमुखः स्थूलभुक् वैश्वानरः प्रथमः पादः। स्वप्नस्थानः अन्तःप्रज्ञः सप्ताङ्गः एकोनविंशतिमुखः प्रविविक्तभुक् ऐजसः द्वितीयः पादः।
यत्र सुप्तो न कंचन कामं कामयते न कंचन स्वप्नं पश्यति तत्सुषुप्तं सुषुप्तस्थानः एकीभूतः भूतः प्रज्ञानघनः एव आनन्दमयः ह्यानन्दबुक् चेतोमुखः प्राज्ञः तृतीयपादः एष सर्वेश्वरः एष सर्वज्ञः एषः सर्वज्ञः एष अन्तर्यामी एष योनि सर्वस्य प्रभवाप्य यौहि भूतानाम्
महिष्प्रज्ञो विभुर्विश्वः ह्यन्तःप्रज्ञस्तु तैजसः घनप्रज्ञस्तथा प्राज्ञः एक एवात्रिधा स्मृतः दक्षिणाक्षी मुखे विश्वः मनस्यन्त्यस्तु तैजसः आकाशे च हृदि प्राज्ञः त्रिधा देहे व्यवस्थितः
विश्वो हि स्थूलभुन्नित्यं तैजसः प्रविविक्तभुक् आनन्दभुक् तथा प्राज्ञः त्रिधा भोगं निबोधत स्थूलं तर्पयते विश्वं प्रविविक्तं तु तैजसम् आनन्दश्च तथा प्राज्ञं त्रिधा तृप्तिं निबोधत
त्रिषु धामसु यद्भोज्यं भोक्ता यश्च प्रकीर्तितः वैदत्तदुभयं यस्तु स भुजानो न लिप्यते.
You can break there. Veda etat or Veda itat. Veda etat ubhayam yastu. Veda etat you can break. If it it is written Vede tadu bhayam yastu. Veditat, but you can break that Veda etat ubhayam yastu.
Okay, Veda ubhaya eta. Okay, Trishu dhamasu yadbojyam bhokta yascha yatsa prakirtitaha Vede tatu ubhayam etat.
You can break there Veda, then etat, ubhayam. 3 words. Veda, etat, etat. Then etat, then ubhayam.
Okay. Veda ubhayam etat yastu sa.
After is Veda, you can write Veda, then etat, then ubhayam.
Oh, okay. Veda etat ubhayam yastu sab yastu yahtu saha bhunjanaha na lipyate.
Okay, that is fine. But if you read this way, Veda etat ubhayam yastu, follow meter because you can chant in the metrical form. Trisudhama suyad bhojyam, however you pause after bhojyam. Then bhokta yascha prakirtitaha, second sentence. Third sentence is Veda etat ubhayam yastu, third sentence. Fourth sentence sabhunjano nalipyate. So
Next time
we can chant in a metrical form. Yes.
Okay. Prabhavah sarva bhavanam satamiti vinashya.
We can stop. Prabhava sarva bhavanam, pause. Satamiti vinishchaya, because these are in metrical form, we cannot chant just like that. Like Bhagavad Gita, in metrical form it is.
So Prabhavah sarva bhavanam satam iti vinashchaya sarvam janayati pranaha cheto. That what is, how does that go, Swamiji? Prana cheto aushan, or what is that way? Because I was looking at the sandhi, but chetaha ansana it is written. So is it how it goes? I am not sure.
Sarvam janayati pranaha, that pause. Then chetum sun purusha prathak chetum. That anuswara is chandra, that anuswara chetum. Chetum sun purusha prathak.
Chetom shun purusha prathaka. Prathak. So chetom shun purusha prathaka.
Not prathaka,
Prathak. Okay, no. All right, one more time. Prabhava sarva bhavanam satam iti vinaschaya.
Not binashchaya, vinischaya.
Okay. Satam iti, because vinaschaya, no, there is no vinischaya, Swamiji here.
It is vinischaya, not we are telling binashchaya. It is vinischaya.
Vinischaya. Okay, okay. Prabhavah sarva bhavanam satam iti vinischayah sarvam pranah janayati chetom sun purushah prutak.
You are not reading from the sloka, you are reading from the meaning.
That would
Sarvam
little bit
janayate.
next
Sarvam
time
then
better. Sorry.
janayate. Sarvam, then after that, not prana. Sarvam janayate. Okay, that is fine. That is.
Vibhudim prasavam tvanye manyante srishtichintakaa swapnamaya sarupeti srishtiranyirvikalpita ichhamatram prabho srishtihi iti srishtau vinischitaha kalat prasudim bhutanam manyante kalachintakaah.
Susto vinischitaha, naschitaha, vinischitaha.
Vinischitaha. इच्छामात्रं प्रभो सृष्टिः इति सृष्टौ विनिश्चितः कालात्
Naschitaha, chitaha.
निश्चिताः. Dirkha is there, Swami?
Yes.
Oh, in this book it is not there. Okay. It's an old book, so it is not vinischitaha, that is written here.
Oh, okay, okay. But vinischitaha it will be.
Which one is right, Swami?
Chitaha, long.
Okay, vinischitaha. Okay. Vinischitaha. इच्छामात्रं प्रभो सृष्टिः इति सृष्टौ विनिश्चिताः कालात् प्रसूदिं भूतानां मन्यन्ते कालचिन्तकाः.
भोगार्थं सृष्टिरित्यन्ये क्रीडार्थम् इति चापरे देवस्यैष स्वभावोऽयम् आप्तकामस्य का स्पृहा.
Okay. So after that, what is the prasanga? What is the topic? After this bhogartham srishti rityanye, then where, since so many classes we are discussing, what is that prasanga called? It is called the nature of negation. We are discussing the nature of negation. Like, why one has to know how to negate? Because negate means always we think it is not that. I don't need that. I don't need that. I don't need that. I need this. Like when we are trying to find a partner. And how we select the last partner? First we have to negate. Not first we have to negate. Then somebody will come and tell that, okay, and they will do the interview. Do you know cooking? Then I tell no, I have not cooked. I didn't know cooking. Then you don't know you are not cooking, and then what kind of thing? Then we negate that. Okay, this person is negated. Then another person comes. Then he told you what do you need? Then you tell, you know, every day I want to sit in the roadside car and go to some sightseeing, but I cannot do that. Negated. So like how we negate. So we have to do that because it is not that one person came and that person become the, then there is no fun at all. There is no fun. So always we are doing that. But here, and that kind of negation we are very much acquainted with. Nobody had to teach us that. But here, scripture is telling negate. So it has got a deeper meaning. Here, negation is not getting rid of something and holding on to something else, which is in a different place, available at a different time. I hope you are able to understand what we are discussing. Please pay attention. Like when the one boy came, then I told, no, I don't want to marry that person. Then after 3-4 months, another boy came. I told, no, I don't want to marry that person. Then after some 1 or 2 years, up another boy came. I told, no, I don't want to marry that boy. We are spending time. Then I have gone to some Bhangra was going on, not Bhangra, what is that? Ras was going on, Dandiya. Dandiya was going on, and it was in my neighborhood. And I also danced there and hit that one stick with the other one I was doing. And suddenly I fell in love with that person whom I was not even looking at. And you know who is that boy? This is just our neighbor. People were coming from 1,000 miles away, and one interview going on. I was negating left and right, but then I asserted who is there for all time to come. Somehow my attention was not. But on that day when I was playing the dandiya, then I saw his eyes and my eyes. They clicked and khatam. And this is called assertion. This is where negation and assertion we are very much acquainted with. Deny some, then tell yes to somebody else. But it takes time and place also, not the same place. All are not available in the same place, different places. But here, when we are negating, we have to know how to negate. There you can tell, why I don't want. But here, no, it is not. It will not work here. It is a unique type of negation, which is given in the scripture and told by realized master. So it is not ordinary type of negation. This negation is not negating a thing, but negating the falsity of the thing. If you are seeing the water as a wave, then what you have to negate is the wave, not the water. Because the wave is just a mental creation. It is not really there. What is really there is water. In that example, we are negating the falsity, and when we negate the falsity, immediately we are asserting in the same place, not in another place. With same place, we are asserting the truth. When you negate the wave, we are asserting the water. And it is happening, it is samakala, at the same time. So let me ask whether you remember or not. What was the first logic that was given to why this method of negation is adopted here? The type of negation which is adopted, why it is adopted? What is the first reason, Prakashji? What the Purvapakshi asked?
Why it is negated?
No. The why it is told in the language of negation, no antaprajna, no bahisprajna, in this way it is written, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the Purvapakshi was asking some questions, then Siddhanti was, Bhavan Shankaracharya was answering, no, that is not the reason. We have to use the language of negation. What was the first argument the Purvapakshi gave? That no, we cannot use the language of negation.
Yeah, what he says is when you say negate, which doesn't have existence there.
Yeah, yes, that is the first thing. Yeah. That means if you negate everything, there is not a single thing we are telling that negate 10 or 15 and then tell that this is this. But he is not telling this is this. It is only negating. That means it is nothing. Actually, it is not nothing. It is not a thing.
Not
It is no thing. It is not nothing. It is no thing. It is not an object. Thing means an object. It is not an object. But there is something. Because what is the reason for something, Ajay?
Because the act of negation draws your attention to the substratum which runs through and through all appearances.
Yes, because for all the appearances to exist, it needs the blessing of the existence of a positive thing, and we call that as the substratum, as the adhara. Support is needed, so support has to be there. So the illusion cannot stand on its own. It needs a real substratum. It needs a real adhara. So adhara cannot be false. Adhara cannot be false. Adhara has to be real. Then Bhagavan told that. Then the Purvapakshi was quite okay. He accepted. Yes, yes, that is true. That is true. So Sumaji, can you give an example of illusion?
Rajju and Sarpa.
That is given in the picture, but
The
from our
horns of
day-to-day
Ferrari.
experience, from our day-to-day experience, from everyday
Our, yeah, it's the Vakers, the Jagrat Sthana, Jagrata Sthana, Swapna Sthana, and Shushupti. They are all illusion.
Don't repeat from the book, but tell from your own experience every day. Do you experience any illusion it is so vivid for everybody?
Yeah, in our Vakers world, whatever we see is an illusion because it's not there when we go into the dream.
That picture is telling our own experience where we experience it is illusion.
Miraj, Swamiji, Miraj.
Mirage, I don't say how many mirage you have seen here in Chicago.
What we are seeing right now.
Rainbow. Rainbow is an illusion.
Also the ocean and the waves, Swami. Waves are.
I don't know. In our home, are you seeing the ocean and wave?
My son.
Every day we are seeing that one. We are coming across that illusion.
Sunrise, sunset, Swamiji.
My son, my daughter,
sunrise, sunset.
Everything is mine.
We are thinking too much.
Yeah.
Nobody can tell, Rituji.
Yes, Swamiji, like, you know how I see like a cloud, sometimes it looks like a shape of Ganesha or something, but actually it's just a cloud passing by on the sky. So it gives a false appearance of a shape of like
Listen to the question. Every day we are experiencing that illusion, each one of us, every day. Can you give, and then sitting in our own or in our own home, we are observing that illusion, not
It's
going
like
out or looking to the sky or anything.
Dream.
The sunrise and sunset.
Not what outside. It is dream. Every day we are, and this is the experience of each and every person. We have seen dreams, isn't it?
Yes.
And it is and there is no better example than dream. World is illusion, scripture is telling, but we don't consider world as illusion. For a dream is illusion, nobody can deny. Nobody can deny. Okay. Then what is the adhar there? What is the substratum there? What is substratum for the dream?
The dream, but when I wake up from dream.
Again, you are telling other things.
No.
You told that, okay, for every illusion, a adhar is needed, a substratum is needed. That we agreed, all of us. Isn't it? Wherever there is illusion, there is a real substratum. If there is a illusory snake, there is a real rope. Then the dream is illusion. Then what is the real substratum there? What is adhar?
Turiya state.
A dreamer has to be there, Swamiji. For the dream to be there, somebody has to dream it. So the mind is the antarprajna, or the tejas, or the ego is the substratum for the dream, right, to appear.
Ego is also part of the dream. Ego is the who is dreaming. The dream. Can we? Somebody is on. Okay. The dreamer, dream, and dreaming all are in the dream only. So what is the substratum to real?
Consciousness, Swami. Consciousness.
Yes, the life itself. The life itself is the substratum. If life is not there, dream will not happen. A dead man will not see any dream.
The awareness, the same thing, right? Consciousness, awareness.
The life itself. The life, as long as the life is there, life is called consciousness. Then life is the only in a living person, only dream can happen. Okay, and dream happens in the mind, and the mind and dream both are same. They are not two different things, and that is the dream is possible because there is a real substratum for that, which is life. In the medium of life, only it is happening. The dream comes and dream goes, but the life stays all the time. Life was there before the dream. Life is there when the dream is occurring, and when the dream goes away, also life is there. So life is real, but the dream is illusory. Okay, that part. That is the first question that the Purvapakshi asked, and then he was convinced. Yes, there is a real substratum. I completely agree with that. Okay. For the next question, Purvapakshi asked. Next question, Sumaji.
Why should we go through the process of negation of the first three states? If we are talking only of the reality, why should we talk about the first three states then? That is the only reality.
Forgot it is. Forgot, I think. See, this is systematic. How it is going systematically? There is a regular process. First, Bhagavan Shankaracharya told, for every illusory thing, there is a real adhara. Okay. Then the Purvapakshi is telling, if it is a real adhara, then the adhara can be told in a positive language.
Positive
Second
language.
question.
Yes, yes.
The adhara can be told in a positive language. Then he is giving the example of water and pot. He's telling, if the adhara, I completely accept that the Vishwa, Tejas and Prajna, they are illusory in nature. So they should, they can only exist in the, if they are supported by something real. That means adhara is real, and that adhara is the Turiya or Atma. Okay, Turiya. Now he has not used the word Atma. Atma will be later. Turiya is the substratum, is the adhara. Then the Purvapakshi asked, yes, I accept that Turiya is the adhara and it is real. But whenever there is something adhara and there is a adheya, there adhara is explained by not negating the adheya. It is by telling, by expressing the adhara in a positive way. Like the last time, here the example is given, pot and water. Pot is the adhara, and the question of adhara came from the first doubt. Okay, he introduced, Bhagavan Shankaracharya introduced the word adhara. Then the Purvapakshi is telling, if the Turiya is the adhara, then it can be told in a positive language. Just like how it tells pot. Pot is not told, pot is that which is not water. It is not told that way. Adheya is the water. Nobody is negating the water. Nobody is negating the adheya. Here, what is adheya? Aranji, what is adheya here in Turiya case?
Adheya is the water. I mean, the adhara, and that is the adhara. And the adheya is all the other three states. Tell
what are they? Here, where
Vishwa, Tejas, and
here adheya. Here adheya is compared to Prakashji what?
Adhe is the substratum.
Again, we are telling Adhe is the substratum. Adhe is which is supported.
Okay.
Here Adhe is compared with what? Adhe?
Water.
Water. Okay. Yeah.
I don't know what you are thinking. Are we in the same line or are we two different zones? I don't know. But okay, that's why I'm telling you, because if you think that why is computer repeating the same thing again and again? The Adhe is the water and the Adhara is the pot. Okay. And while describe pot here, in place of pot, we are calling it Turiya, and in place of water, we are considering the Vishwa, Tejas and Pragya. This is the difference. But he's taking an example, water and pot. He's telling the pot is told that which has got a round shape, inside it is hollow, a big belly, and then a narrow neck and a wide mouth. We tell, I can express pot that way. I don't have to tell it, this is the pot is that is the Adhara which is not water. Nobody tells that way. So we don't have to tell Turiya which is not Vishwa, which is not Tejas, which is not Pragya. We don't have to tell, but it is written that way in the book.
Turiya.
But what Bhagavan Shankaracharya answered, does anybody remember?
Turiya has no duality, no jati, guna, dharma.
Yes. Because to talk of something, we need, the mind has to capture. If mind is not able to capture, mind cannot describe. All the descriptions are to the mind. And mind can capture that which has got jati, which has got guna, and which has got sambandha and kriya. Jati, guna, kriya, and sambandha. But jati is like jati, the Vishwa, Tejas and Pragya, they have jati. Not jati means how we are telling, he's an angry person. This is a category of people. These are very nice people. That means their egos are nice. His ego is angry type of ego. Then we can tell, we can categorize, we can make a group. Like how we're telling, these are all goats, these are all cows. They have got a particular jati. Or we tell these are Brahmins, these are Kshatriyas. Jati, we can express, we can tell them. Jati. Guna, like the body is made of the Panchamahabhuta, and the mind is also made of Panchamahabhuta. We can tell, and the ego is also made of Panchamahabhuta. So there is guna is there. Kriya, let us say some kind of, we are using that, what is that powder when you put in the fire, it burns and nice smell gives. What do you call that?
Camphor?
Not camphor. In India, in the evening time, we take some like coconut coir, and we put it in fire and put little powder, and that powder, and then we take to each and every room. We call it
Dupa.
We call it jhuna. It is what's sambram?
Sambrani.
Yes. Okay, sambrani. Then what is that? Sambrani, how will describe in terms of kriya? Sambrani is that which is used in havan, let us say. We are explaining that in terms of an action.
Kriya.
Isn't it? Then samparka sambandha, who is this person? This person is the brother of that person. So we are bringing a relationship to describe the person, like how we tell, okay, so who is he? Her husband. Like how we tell in the samparka. So in case of Turiya, we cannot use those things. We cannot use. And again, in the example of the pot and water, what is the relationship between pot and water?
Samayoga samparka.
It is called Samayoga. And what is the relationship between the blue lotus, blue color and lotus, what relationship it is called?
Samavaya.
It is called samavaya. Samavaya means inherence. That means they are not separate. In case of pot and water, pot is a different thing, water is a different thing. Pot is solid, water is liquid. They have actually no connection. Completely two different things. But they're supporting each other. Pot is supporting the water. Water is also supporting the pot. Like suppose you take a book on the table. How will define the book? The book which is on the table. Here, the book is the Visheshya and the table is the Visheshana. Visheshana is the qualifier. Why we use a Visheshana, a qualifier? Why we use adjectives? Adjectives are used to distinguish one thing from the other one. Suppose you will tell a tall man. The tall word is used to separate that person from all other people who are little of less height, tall man. That's why we use the adjectives. If you tell the book which is on the table, that means what we are telling, we don't want the book which is not on the table. So the table is qualifying the book. It's a qualifier. It is telling I want that book which is on the table. I don't want that book which is not on the table. So here table is qualifying the book. Then how book is qualifying the table? Yes. The table which has a book. I'm interested in that table. I'm not interested in the table which doesn't have a book. That means here book is qualifying the table. The first example, book book on the table, then the table having a book. There are two different examples, but in the first case, the table is the qualifier. In the second case, the book is the qualifier. Is it clear to everybody? No, I don't think it is clear. In the first example, I tell the book is on the table. If I tell, let us say the book B1, I'm interested in the book B1, which on the table. But I am not interested in the book which is on the ground. Then the table is distinguishing the book which is on, distinguishing the book which I want from the book which is on the ground. So that's why the table is a qualifier. Okay. Suppose I tell the same sentence in a different way. The table which has a book. I'm interested in that table which has a book on it. I am not interested in the table which doesn't have a book on the table. That means now the book is defining the table, which table I want. So the book is the qualifier here. So in case of Samyoga Samparka, there are two different things, no connection, but they support each other. They support each other. They are connected to each other. They have a relationship, and that relationship is called Samyoga. Samyoga relationship is when the two things are completely different, independent objects, but still they support each other. But one can separate them. One can separate them, but they support each other. They have no problem at all. The book allows the table allows the book to stay on it, and the book also stays on the table. Book will not tell that I don't want to stay on the table, and table will not tell that I don't want to have a book on me. Both of them support each other. So Samparka is there. The other Samparka is called Samavaya Samparka. The red rose. Here, red is not a different thing. Red is inherent in the rose. The red color is inherent in the rose. One cannot, though red is a color and rose is a flower, but that red color is with the rose flower. It is not different. Though they are different, but they stay together. There will be no red color without a rose flower. Red color cannot exist on its own. Rose flower can exist without the color, but it will not be red rose then. It will not be red rose then. But rose flower as a concept, rose can be without a color, without red color. But red color cannot exist without the rose. So here it is the relationship is inherent, which is called the samavaya samparka. What is the samparka between the turiya and this Vishwatayasa and Prajna? Is it samavaya? Can it be samyoga? It cannot be samavaya and samyoga. It cannot be. It cannot be. Okay. So we cannot explain the adhara in a positive language, just like how we are defining the pot, which is holding the water in a positive way. We cannot explain this one, because to explain in a positive way, we need the jati, guna, kriya, and sambandha. Okay, that was the logic number. That was the question number. What was the, two. Second.
Two.
For the third question came, it is going, we cannot tell just like that one. It is going systematically. What was the third question the Purohi asked?
If turiya is not existent, then it is of no use. Then why should, it's like the horns of a rabbit.
If it cannot be known,
if it's not known.
Yeah.
See, in the second question, the Purohi is accepting that yes, the adhara cannot be explained, because Bhagavan Shankaracharya told him that adhara is there, but it cannot be explained in positive language, because it is not like a pot. Pot has got jati, guna, kriya, samparka, but turiya is not it doesn't have that, so it cannot be explained in positive language. Then what the Purohi asked?
Basically, what is the use of knowing it is a question.
Yes. Then the Purohi asked, then if it cannot be explained, what is the use of knowing such a thing? It is just like the also the which is asat. Asat also has no jati, guna, kriya, and samparka. And what is the example for asat? Minalji, can you give an example of asat?
Asat is, all this, all the avastha, three avastha is also the illusion, asat.
Tell whatever I'm asking, what is the example of asat? Give an example of asat. Venkatji, are you there?
Yes, Swamiji.
What is the example of asat?
The horns of a rabbit or the child of a barren woman.
Okay, horns of a rabbit. This is horns of a rabbit. It is asat, isn't it? Will anybody want that kind of horn? I want to make a comb out of the horns of a rabbit. If one tells that I want to make comb out of the horns of a buffalo, yes, we can. But nobody will make. Nobody can make, because it doesn't exist. But one can tell. One can draw a picture too. One can explain. One can tell in a very nice way by using bombastic words. One can tell that horns of a rabbit, but actually it is non-existent. It is of no use. One can talk, but it is of no use at all. In their daily life, nobody can use the horns of a rabbit for anything. So then, if this adhara is such that it cannot be explained like a pot, then it is of no use. And what is the no use? What is the Sanskrit word was used? What was the Sanskrit word for it is of no use? Anybody can tell. These words were using in our local language.
Nishprayojanam.
Nishprayojanam or nirarthakaha. It is of no use at all. Nirarthakaha, nishprayojanam. That means that turiya is of no use to us. By why we will break our head to know that turiya, if it is like the it cannot be told like a pot. It is nirarthaka. It is because it is asat. Asat has no jati guna kriya and sambandha. Surya has also no jati guna kriya and sambandha. So it's like asat. Asat nobody can use. So this Surya also is no use. Close the book. Let us tell Purnavadan, let us go forever. Thanks for the Mandukya Karika class. Swamiji, namaste. We can go. Yeah, no. No, it is not that devil is cannot escape. You can escape. There are so many things in the world which is of no use. We are thinking that they are very useful in our life. Okay? Very useful. And when we get those things, we think that we have achieved something great in our life. When you get a job, just imagine the day we got a job after graduation, we appeared the interview, and out of 10,000 people, they selected only me. You know how we feel that day? That day our leg will not touch the ground. It will stay 1 centimeter above the ground because I got a job. And then I went to all the clubs and everything, and nothing was clicking. And one day, one Vishwasundari, she told that, okay, I love you very much. That day, how will feel? That day will feel as if we realized God, isn't it? And I hope you have all felt that way the first day at least. We feel that way. We feel that way. But it is nirarthaka actually. It is nirarthaka after that. Actually, it is no use at all. No use. But anyhow, then this Atma, we tell it is all pervading this and that, but it is nirarthaka. It is mispraised. There is no use. But Bhavan Shankaracharya gave that it is, don't tell that at all, because it will remove the desires completely, which is the cause for sorrow. Desire is the cause for sorrow. It will remove the cycle of birth and death, because this cycle of birth and death, it is a repetitive action. Repetitive. Like we are born, then we grow, then we multiply, then we die. And again we are born, we grow, multiply, die. Same thing we are doing every life. Then one will just go do the same thing and same study. We'll read ABCD, then we'll read novels and big English books and essays and everything. Then we'll die again, read ABCD. It is just going in the, it will look like I'm progressing a lot, but actually where from I have left, whatever I have done, again I have to start from there. So there is no progress at all. But in between look like we progressed, but it's not progress. If you see the entire life, we are doing the same thing in every life. Every birth we are doing the same thing. But here one will be free from the cycle of birth and death. But that means there is no, for a spiritual person, there is nothing repetitive. Nothing repeated, like how we get bored, we want to change the work and change the place, change the routine. If one day we are eating idli, the next day we want to make it upma. Same, break the idli and whatever is there, and then we put some little oil and some tadka, and then it is upma today. Because how many days one will get idli? Then after some days, that upma, put little water and take a blender, put in the blender and make it like a puree kind of thing and drink that way. Changes, put little sugar or something, payasam, we do the payasam. Because we get bored. But in case of a spiritual person, there is not a day which is repetitive. Every moment is a fresh moment, new moment. We don't have to celebrate like how we are celebrating New Year. We have to tell, and then all the cows have to be butchered, all the turkeys they have to be sacrificed, all the chickens they have to be killed, and then all the apples they have to be decomposed, and their water has to be extracted, and we have to drink that one. New Year celebration we are doing. You know how much our New Year celebration is so painful. It is so hinsatmaga. It is hinsatmaga. If we are celebrating the New Year, why the chicken has not have to? You can celebrate the New Year. Why you don't allow? Why you kill them? But we'll do that one New Year because we want to tell it is a New Year. Because repetition, we don't like, but we repeat. We don't like helplessly. We are in the cycle of repetition. So our life is going in a cyclic way. There is no linear movement. There is no upward movement. It is just going round and round and round and round. But that will come to an end. That means one will progress in life. So there is a positive. It is knowing this one is a positive thing. So we cannot tell, though one cannot explain it, one cannot describe it, but it has got positive influence in our life. It is the only thing which is rewards us positively. All other things are, one has to make believe. Okay, that was the third argument. What was the fourth argument? What was the fourth argument? Ajay, do you remember?
Yes, Swami, I think I remember. How will you know that it will affect your life positively? Or rather, it was yeah. Sorry, Swami, that's all I remember.
That is fine.
How can we say Turiya is Atma?
Yes.
Scriptures point.
In this point, in the third only, this is included, that how by knowing the Turiya, we will be free from the birth and cycle. I will be free from birth and cycle of birth and death. Then there, one Shankaracharya told, because this Turiya is the Atma, is the self. Then he asked, how can you tell that one? Turiya is me. Then Bhagavan Shankaracharya brought the quotations of the scriptures. The scriptures are telling that. And this Purvakshi believes in the scriptures. Believes. So he kept quiet. He told that yes. Then the next thing is a little deviation from the way we discussed now. The Purvakshi is talking regarding the Pramana. What is the role of Pramana? Because here we are reading the scripture. Scripture is the Pramana. Okay? Pramana. Pramana means the meaning is means of knowledge. It's called Pramana. Pramayaha karanam iti pramanam. Means of knowledge is called Pramana. When it comes to seeing a thing at night, what is the Pramana? Anandji? Suppose there is a thing and it's all dark. So what is the Pramana at that time?
A flashlight.
Flashlight. Flashlight is Pramana. Means of knowledge, through which, using which we can know. Okay. But when it comes to Turiya, the means of knowledge is the Shruti, is Upanishad. Upanishadam Pramanam. Indriya Agochara Visaye Vedaha Pramanam. Indriya Agochara Visaye. If something is beyond the senses, then Pramana is the Vedas. If anything is under the senses, under the purview of the senses, then physics book, chemistry book, they are the Pramana. The material science is the Pramana. But spiritual science is the Pramana regarding which is beyond the scope of the senses. So they are talking regarding two different things. So one cannot mix up, one cannot compare them. The material science is talking regarding which is available for the senses to perceive, and scripture is talking which cannot be perceived through the senses. So they are not against each other. They are not against each other. They are talking to two different things. We cannot compare them at all. And when the material science ends, spiritual science starts. Which material science cannot explain, spiritual science can explain. Like life after death. The school college cannot, our professor cannot tell, mathematics professor cannot tell that. What do you want? Philosophy can tell. Who are we? The physics book cannot tell that one, but our scriptures can tell, because it is Indriya Agodara Vishaya. Okay. Then this Purvak is asking, that means this Pramana is needed to gain knowledge, isn't it? But Bhagavan Shankaracharya, no. Pramana is, Upanishad is not making us realize Brahman, but it can remove the ignorance regarding the world. Ignorance. The light. Light only removes the darkness which is covering that object. Then, so far as darkness is concerned, removal of darkness, what is the Pramana? For the removal of darkness, who is the Pramana? Light is the Pramana. No. For removal of the darkness, light is the Pramana. But seeing the object, Pramana is the eyes. Good eyes. Isn't it? Means of knowledge. For seeing the object, eyes are required. But for removing the darkness, first light is needed. But then one may tell that removal of the darkness, when the darkness is removed, then we can see the object. That means there is a time gap.
No.
In language, one will tell that there is a time gap between the removal of darkness and perception of the object. But Bhagavan Shankaracharya said, no. There is no gap. But so Upanishad cannot make us aware of ourselves. It can only remove the ignorance regarding the self. After that, it is over. Pramana's work is over. It has removed the darkness. But how to recognize the truth then? Truth will reveal on its own. So all our effort is only removing the darkness, not to realize God, to remove the ignorance regarding God. Guru, scripture, the two parts. Removal of ignorance and gaining the knowledge. The two parts are there. But they are not two things that is happening at two different times, but it is samakala. It is samakala. Suppose somebody tells that, okay, removal of the ignorance, Shruti, then another Pramana is needed to know the self. No, another Pramana is not needed. If somebody tells that another Pramana is, one Pramana is needed, which is the Shruti, to remove the ignorance regarding the self, and then another Shruti has to be there to be aware of the self. Then Bhagavan Shankaracharya, no. If somebody thinks that way, then he made a little joke. He told that it is just like somebody is telling that in the act of splitting the wood, what we are doing, we take a spade, isn't it? Spade is the means of knowledge. What spade does? Spade is only doing the sambandha between two parts of that log. In the log, there are two parts are there, and when the spade is pierced through that wood with that log, then it removes the relationship between those two parts. That is the splitting. And after that splitting is done, the act of splitting is over. No other thing is needed. Splitting is done. If somebody is telling that no, now the relationship is removed, then to split the log, we have to do something else. No, it is over. The splitting, that act separated both the pieces of log. It broke the relationship between they are all together. Now it broke that one. Its job is over. Now it can. There is no other thing to. So far as splitting is concerned, there is nothing else to be done. Up to that we have finished, and now we'll 1 minute is there. So we'll just very interesting point. It is, you cannot keep this book at all. It is so much he has thought of. Very interesting. Because why, do you know why we enjoy? Like we are in America, but all of us are here. We enjoy America, being in America, we're enjoying, or the day we go to our motherland, we have not gone there for 20 years, let us say. And here we are enjoying everything, going to party, this and that. But when we'll enjoy the most? The day will be in India, because the source, that is the source. Even if same broken house will go and see that, and then the neighbors will see they become old, they don't even recognize, and they were not, they only 1 or 2 children were there, our friends, but now the children have children, their children have children, and then we see and how the village road is now made like cement, and the street lights are there, and then the tubewells are there. At that time we were drinking water from the pond. It's very interesting. We'll go and see everything. Everything is enjoyable. Then we'll ask, where is that cow shed, which was so dirty, but we want to see that one, that cow shed. But now the cow shed is gone. It is always, going to the source is always interesting. Why we spend so much of money to go to our parents? Here we have got so many friends, are there so many people we come in contact. But seeing parents is something special, because that is the source. We are from there, and that is inherent in each and every individual. Motherland, our parents, our relatives, who will like to see them. Here, this Atma, that is the source. So, we, but how much we may read, it is always very interesting. Our thinking process should take us closer and closer and closer and closer. So all this logic, what is given, where from it started from Vishwa, Tejas and Pragya. Now where it has landed, now it has taken us to our own self, the Turiya. Just by giving 4 to 5 logic, if our mind is progressing as per the question and answer, how it is given here, we are not in the Vishwa, Tejas, Pragya anymore. Our mind is shifted from there. Goes through a process of discussion, that's all. Nothing else. Not a big thing. So the scriptures are written in such a way, it is not to show their erudition or their scholarship or to show their like how we can write. No, not writing skills. It is just shifting our attention from one thing to to our real nature. That's why we feel good. Just to like when you are reading a sloka. Even reading a sloka, that must be giving you a lot of joy that I'm able to read the Mandukya Karika sloka. If you can remember, that is the best. That yes, I can read a sloka from the Mandukya Karika, which is considered as the highest text in Hinduism. Puja Gurudev, when he will take the this Mandukya Karika, and a portion will come where it will be told there is nothing at all. Etat uttamam satyam yatra kinchit najayat. It will come later. Many people, they go crazy. There is nothing is there, because when you are listening, if mind is impure, the last layer, it cannot handle that. When mind is shifting from the visible to that which is invisible, it will be very scared. I don't want to go there. In mind, I'm thinking. So people go little crazy. Okay, they will go, what is that? What is going on? Confused. That's why Puja Gurudev, every day after the Mandukya Karika class, there will be some havan will be there or some bhajan will be there. Something to, otherwise people cannot handle that. If the mind is pure, mind is able to think as it is given here, then there is no problem. Some mind cannot think, it will be disturbed. Then they will run away. They will go, I cannot handle this, I am going. That's why every day there will be some yajna will be there, some swaha will be there, or some bhajan program, some dance program. Always he will do some program, or going to some river, putting the like Dubki, their evolution, you will always arrange that one. And that text we are reading here, you don't know just how fortunate or how blessed we are. Even to just to read, I'm not telling realization. Realization is a different thing. Let me just read this one, because then we'll see the meaning of this one the next time. Nacha tadvat api atmani adhyaropita antःप्रज्ञत्वादि विवेक करणे प्रवृत्तस्य प्रतिषेध विज्ञान प्रमाणस्य अनुपादित सतान्तः अनुपादित सत अंतःप्रज्ञत्व आदिनि वृत्ति व्यतिरेकेण तुरीये व्यापार वपत्तिः अंतःप्रज्ञत्वादि निवृत्ति समकालमेव. You can understand samakala. We were talking samakala. प्रमातृत्वादि भेद निवृत्तेः तथा च वक्ष्यामि ज्ञाते द्वैतं न विद्यते. मांडुक्य कारिका. ज्ञानस्य द्वैत निवृत्ति क्षण व्यतिरेकेण क्षणांतर अनवस्थानात् अवस्थाने च अनवस्था अप्रसंगात् द्वैत अनिवृत्तिः तस्मात् प्रतिषेध विज्ञान प्रमाण व्यापार समकालैः एव आत्मनि अध्यारोपित अंतःप्रज्ञत्वादि अनर्थ निवृत्तिः इति सिद्धम. The message here what Bhavan is telling, that when the Pramana, that is Upanishad, it is removing the ignorance regarding the self, then it has done its job. Then the self will automatically be revealed to the person. The person will come to realize that I am the Atma. Okay. That means the Dvaita is removed now. The Dvaitata regarding myself is removed. Like now I am telling, I am a person, but I am a doctor. Doctor is a role and I am a person. Okay, but who is he? He is a teacher. Like that, Dvaita is there. So this doctor is different from the teacher. And this person is different from that person. This Dvaita is there. This Dvaita is removed when the knowledge is done. Suppose one will tell that, no. After removing the ignorance, something else has to be done too. Some activity is needed. Some action is needed. Then what Bhavan is telling, no action is needed. Why no action is needed? He is giving a reason. He is giving the reason of that, and we'll see next time. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Sri Gurubhyo Namaha.